Hi everybody, welcome back to Symfonea. This is where we learn all about the awesome covenant that we have with God in Christ today.
Yeah, and it's in time for another episode of our Knysna mission trip, day 4. So this is Thursday of the mission trip, and usual stuff, breakfast buffet, training session, and then we went down to a little place called Naomi Ministries, and basically they do a food rally for the homeless in the area. A lot of the guys there are waiting to be picked up for odd jobs for the day. Much like you see here in Cape Town, you pick up the guys, get them to do some painting or some building for you and things. But a lot of them are homeless, so they do a food drive there for the guys. But before that, they have a worship session, and somebody usually brings a word, and then they pray for the guys. And our good friend Spoo got selected to preach here.
I feel like we only ever talk about Spoo and Leon.
Shame.
Everyone participated equally and did amazing things on the mission trip, so we will try to highlight that more going forward.
Yeah, obviously we are just speaking from the perspective of the yellow group. We weren't in every group, so what happened on their days we can't speak about. But yeah, so Spoo got to preach. I think this was his first time on the spot preaching. He was a bit nervous, but
yeah, they literally called him up and he was like, "Oh,
am I speaking?"
Am I speaking?
Yeah. So
and then he brought it.
Yeah, we got to watch him just share on the love of God there, and he captivated this audience so well that the guys forgot that they were there to collect food.
Yeah.
Some of us were praying for the guys after the message has been spoken, and some of us were prepping the food meals and the parcels and stuff, and we were expecting this queue of people to come fetch their food, and these guys are queuing to have prayer.
Yeah.
I particularly remember one guy that was there. He said that, so we had split them into these groups of like what they actually need prayer for.
Yeah.
And this one guy was there and he's like, yeah, but my thing hasn't been called yet. So
oh yes, I remember that.
yeah, so we were just like, no, you can go into any group, we'll pray for you. But it's like, but my thing hasn't been, I want you to call my thing.
And then someone did. He didn't ask him what it was. He said, okay, just give me a minute. And then he went away, prayed in tongues. Can't remember who it was now. Pastor Chris, probably. And then he told the guy what his problem was, or asked him, is it this? And the guy said, that is my problem. And then he prayed, and there were many healings in this, I want to say in this hour, but it was about an hour and a half that we spent there.
Yeah, I remember this guy had, he said he had a pain in his ankle, but the situation was that previously he had broken his ankle and he actually had a screw going right through. And after we prayed for him, he said he couldn't feel the screw anymore. So I haven't been to his x-rays, but whether or not that screw disappeared, I'm not saying. He just said he couldn't feel it anymore.
Yeah, there were so many of those, man. I mean, if I must say which session of the entire mission trip was condensed with like the most results, like physical, tangible results of what we are praying for, it would be Naomi Ministries, because their hearts are so receptive. I mean, even Naomi herself, the lady that runs that thing in Knysna, she said that usually we ask who wants prayer, a few hands go up, whatever, and then everyone zoots off to the food table. Guys, not one person was at that food table before they went for prayer. It was so encouraging. It was awesome. Like, just to see, I struggle having my heart open to things, like learning things from God sometimes. And here these guys they don't have a home like what we do. They don't have transport or a solid job. But their hearts are so ready for God to receive, like to receive from God. It was awesome. Awesome.
It's absolutely amazing to watch that.
Yeah. And
then we ended there. So we're supposed to do a 2-hour session there. We did about an hour and a half, as Sam said.
Yeah.
So our intern that was with us, Oswald, decided to take us on a walk around the Knysna Lake, I guess?
I think so.
Yeah, walk around the Knysna Lake, just to see some scenery. But while we were there, we're encountering people, and we're so in evangelical mode that it's just like, oh, I got a word for this person, I'm gonna go speak to this person.
Yeah, Doc. We met Doc.
Yeah, we got to meet Doc there, old guy, had a bit of church hurt. I don't know how long we were with him, but I know we were late for lunch.
45 minutes.
Because we were just hearing his story out and encouraging him and things. And then the upside of that was we had to pray in Afrikaans.
Oh wow, that was something else. Yeah. It's different when you're doing a play. Like the previous day, we could write our things down and then learn those things. But to say, en Here, ek weet dat u wil die beste vir my hê, en that was something else. And this person was the one that could speak the best Afrikaans in the group. So it should tell you who else was around, how bad the Afrikaans was.
A lot of the guys that we were with don't even speak Afrikaans at all. So it's,
I mean, teaching Afrikaans is one thing, but one day I will definitely be more fluent.
Fluently speaking it is another.
And then leading someone who is Afrikaans themselves in a prayer, like their first language.
Sure.
And but I must say, it was just flowing. It was similar to that Xhosa lady on day one. It just flowed out, and it was quite amazing that I didn't stutter like what I did now. I just said things and he repeated it after me the exact same way. Shame he didn't correct grammar or anything like that. It was so nice, man, like so peaceful, and you could definitely sense the presence of God over his life in that moment. So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, and then the next part of the day, I think, was Sam's favorite.
My favorite.
We got to go to the Plet location.
Yeah.
And do some ministry there.
Yes. So the reason why this was my favorite is we got split up on all the different, like, you know, when you go in pairs, it was never Greg and I, except for day one where we had to be boy-girl because of the danger. So we had a chance to be with everybody already at that point. Like, I had a chance to be partner with Spoo, I had a chance to be with Cheryl, I had a chance with Ingrid and Pastor Chris and Leon and Marie and everyone, but not Greg, except for day one. So I was allowed, part of day one even. Yeah. So we were allowed to be with each other in Plettenberg Bay when we ministered there in one of the locations. And that was where I thrived, and I think you thrived there as well. Because
I wasn't worried about the taxi danger.
Yeah, that must be it. But you see, I'm going to be ministering with you my whole life. So I was wanting to get practice in, and like, obviously we do minister, like I minister to you guys and stuff, but anyway, it was just awesome. So for those of you who don't know, Greg flows in the prophetic as well. He definitely doesn't say things that he knows that he's not 100% sure are from God, which is what makes him a really good, can I say prophet, or somebody that flows in the prophetic? Yeah. And I'm a teacher. So whenever we would come across people, Greg would get a word for them, I would explain it. Our first encounter in Plettenberg Bay ministry was 2 matric boys who had just been let out of school. Now, you know how approachable 18-year-old guys are, right? Like
school kids in general, walking in groups as they leave in school and they just want to get home.
Yeah, and they're like, I have no time for this Jesus stuff, like who cares? That type of thing. So we meet these 2 guys, and Greg is like, hey guys, we're just here. Hey guys, we're just here speaking about Jesus, and we want to tell you guys that God is real, and what can we do? What can we pray for you? And then one guy is just not interested at all, and he's like, no, whatever, we don't really, whatever, and all that stuff.
We don't need prayer.
We don't need prayer. And the other guy was like, yeah, but where are you from? And quite interested. Boom, Greg gets a word from the Lord. The guy that's not interested, he is studying to get his marks up so that he can qualify for a BCom or business degree.
Yeah, he's trying to do his bachelor's of business.
Yes. So Greg says that to him, and he runs to the other side of the road. He's like, what the?
Bleep, 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 bleep.
How the, do you know that? And what the heck? And all this stuff. And I sort of laughed a little bit on the inside, because I was like, yep, that's the reaction we usually get. People don't know that we know things from the Holy Spirit. John 2 verse 20, you have an unction from the Holy One. We say this in almost every single one of our videos. You have an unction from the Holy One and you know all things. Whenever you are in need of some information to help you in some situation, you know all things. In that moment, Greg needed to tell them that he knew something that he couldn't possibly know without God's knowledge. So the Lord quickened the fact that he's studying to get his business degree.
Where he's trying to study, who he's trying to study with, and where he's trying to get the scholarship from, and how he was going to get there.
Yes, so it was detailed, and that sort of paved the way. Then the guy obviously eventually came running back. It paved the way to tell them, look, these guys, we've never seen them, we're probably never going to see them again. How on earth would they know that except it came from God? We were able to pray for them and pray for their studies and matric exams, and prayed for some family issues as well. And yeah, they basically sent us on our way after that.
Quite a nice thing about Plet though is Knysna Vineyard actually have a lady out there who can't come to their church all the time, but she does when she can, and she sort of has like a home group there as well.
Lungi.
So Lungi, yes. So when we were leaving, they were like, oh yeah, but we can't connect with you guys and things because you're from Cape Town.
Yes.
And it was nice to be able to say, actually there's a lady up the road from you guys right now.
Who can help you and
so
mentor you.
It wasn't just like praying for them and then leaving them in the dark trying to figure it out for themselves, which is, again, it's just how well Knysna Vineyard is integrated into the communities around there.
Guys, the other thing, more cows. Like cows. And they have the horns and everything. So I think the enemy, I think he was trying to stop me and stop us from ministering because there was this group of 3 girls, but there were cows right next to him. Like, no, Greg, we can't go there because, the cow's looking right at me with this big, beautiful, giant eyes, and no, we can't go there. And then they start walking towards us, the cows, not the girls. And I was like, oh, no, maybe there's somebody on that side we can minister to. And it was just so funny. Obviously, it's funny now, but back then it was like, no, Greg, they're looking. And seeing the cows walk just wherever they wanted to walk. It was such an experience.
They're so docile though. Those cows, they won't do anything to you unless you aggravate them.
Yeah, but I don't know if what I'm doing is aggravating them.
Oh, not the Palas, Macy.
So, but anyway, they moved, and I think we then got our chance to go and speak to those 3 girls. They were standing against the school gate. We were also handing out pamphlets about little encouragements about finances or emotional things, and we handed out some of those to the people that we ministered to. And then we did turn around after that, and we went up the back road where we met that other guy.
Oh yes, I forgot his name now, but he was on his way to the shop actually to buy milk, and I stopped him dead in his tracks and I said to him, can I just ask you a question? Are you possibly thinking about a business deal that you're involved in? You're about to sign the contract and things.
And you don't feel right about it.
Yeah, and he started telling me exactly what it was and things, and I basically gave him a word about what to do business-wise there and what was coming. So it was quite amazing because I just saw him down the road and I was like, can't be this guy because he's so far away. He's there down the road. Normally when you get a word for somebody, they're in quite close vicinity to you. Yeah, in quite close proximity to you. So it was like, that guy's down the road. So we were walking around ministering to people, and then when he came to the intersection, I said, Sam, I just have to ask this guy something. And then we got to minister with him. It turns out I say he's a used to be believer, but he used to go to church. And after talking with us, he was like, I need to go back to church. And it was just so amazing because to see something like that, because God's just interested in every aspect of your life. Even a business deal from somebody who isn't looking to God for advice at the moment. And he's like, I got some advice on this matter.
Oh man, it was amazing. And I believe that things have started turning up since that prayer and since our visit there. Not taking any of the glory, but the fact that God laid it on our hearts to go pray there just means He's so interested in Busisiwe. He loves her. She's a believer. And He wants her business to prosper, which is awesome.
we get to go do the hike with Pastor Alfred up the mountain, which I think we were like, oh, we're going to do this. We love hiking, super keen on this. This one is unfit. Spoo and I were like, no, we're going to go with the fast guys. And at the halfway point, him and I sat down, and Spoo and I were just like, I'm dead. I'm done. I'm turning around.
I wasn't unfit. I just happened to know that I'm unfit. That's why I stayed with the slow group.
Yeah. But it's an amazing hike. There's tons of views up there. We do have some scenery photos that you will see in a video that's coming up in this segment of Knysna.
Yeah, and then the final thing that happened on Thursday was we had an African service hosted at Knysna Vineyard. Now, I love this idea. There are people in Knysna who don't speak very good English, from Congo, Kenya, Malawi, some places like that all over the continent and stuff. And Knysna Vineyard caters to them. They don't necessarily understand everything that is said on a Sunday because of the language barrier. So what does the church do? They create a service for those people on a Thursday evening. Brilliant. Like, why not do something like that? It's so amazingly awesome. So we had a church full of people who couldn't understand English very well. So we had an interpreter, and some of us shared our testimony. And I was one of them that shared on that particular day. And I just decided to share a little thing that happened to me about a year or so ago. A car accident that I almost died in, or I should have died in, but didn't come out with one scratch. And it was so funny to see the guy interpret. Just so funny to see that. And after that service, or a few days afterwards, Oswald told us that he had been getting messages from the WhatsApp group saying, "Oh, I hear that it was such an awesome service on Thursday night. I really wish I'd been there." And then the others that were there saying, "Oh, you guys missed an amazing service. Oh, we had such a great time." And people were really encouraged, and their lives were changed on that evening.
Asking when the Cape Town people are going to be back again.
Really?
Yeah. So it's nice to hear things like that. It actually made a difference, because for us it's like, we're sharing 2 minutes of our testimony that we speak about all the time.
Yeah.
But for them it's like, there's hope for me, especially when Chris spoke, because they can relate to him. Chris coming from Kenya, from nothing, and building his business to where he is now.
Yeah. A few times coming from nothing.
Yeah. It's absolutely amazing.
Yes, and we didn't actually get time for a debrief on that day, which sucked a little, but we had a triple debrief a couple of days after that, so we made up for it.
Yeah, Thursday was, time-wise, was Yellow Group's most jam-packed day. We were supposed to be spending an hour at a place, just spending 2 hours, skipping things like lunches and things like that. So by the time we got to supper, we were worn out, tired, and then Oswald hit us with, by the way, Yellow Team's hosting the African service happening now.
Yeah.
So we're like, we got like 10 minutes to eat.
Yeah, and Sam, you're on Impress and Worship in 5.
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay, cool. Go. And then you got to sing after that.
Most jam-packed day, but I think
awesome.
it's the day that I love the most.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, that was day, what now? 4.
That was day 4.
Stay tuned for episode 5, coming up soon.
And until next time,
study God's Word,
get to know His nature,
and set yourself up for a lifetime of success.